Hello everyone and welcome to my quick review of Shin Kamen Rider. Yes, I've been able to finally watch Shin Kamen Rider and all I can say it was an amazing movie. Besides some couple things here and there that I wasn't a big fan of, the film was a pretty good watch. I had fun watching the movie from beginning to end. And all I can say for the most part is that Shin Kamen Rider is practically what anyone expects, an action-packed tokusatsu film and you're not really let down, but I guess you can say there are certain points of the film where I was like they could have done a little bit better. The film opens up quite action packed already, quite with a very intense scene, and you don't have to wait for the film to get to the action scenes. You're just already thrown right into it without having to wait. So yeah, when the movie was being first, teased and they were dropping the trailers, they were teasing the character of Man Spider. In the original series, they were called by whatever creature like Man Spider, stuff like that. In the movie, they changed it to every now sort of kaijin or monster is now named Og, which is short for augment. So Man Spider is now called Spider Og, and yeah, and Wasp Og or whatever. I guess they did it to avoid copyright on certain names, because Man Spider or Spider Man, is copyrighted, and so they changed it to Spider Og, and then Bat Og was originally called Batman, and that name's copyrighted, so yeah, they can't use it. So yeah, they probably did it to avoid getting copyrighted by Warner Brothers or something. But yeah, all of the Augs slash Gaijins from Shocker and all of them were pretty cool in terms of design. I liked them a lot. I think my favorite one was Wasp Woman. As a character, I think I liked her as a character more in the film compared to all of the other Augs. Um, a lot of the fights with the Kaijin slash Augs weren't that bad. The first one was against with Spider Og. I thought he was gonna play a more of a major role from what I saw in the trailers, but within the first 10 or 15 minutes, he's already eliminated. So he's already defeated. I'm that was quick. I was not expecting for him to go down that fast, but yeah. A lot of the fights aren't that long, and a lot of the fights could have been a little bit better. I will admit. The fight with the Bat Og was absolutely disappointing. It didn't really feel that much like a fight. I think the most entertaining fights in the film were with Wasp Woman and Kamen Rider 2. Because the main writer of the film is called Kamen Rider 1, and then there's a second one that shows up who's sort of not really like a villain. More of he's yeah, he's temporarily a villain because he's brainwashed, but yeah, Kamen Rider 2 is the second one that shows up, and then there's a third one who's the big baddie, the main villain of the movie. He's the final boss at the end of the film, and he's the final fight. Yeah, overall, I thought the fights were pretty good. Some could have been better, some could have been longer. The fight with the Scorpion Og or the Scorpion Woman was off screened, and even then, it wasn't really that much of a fight because Kamen Rider didn't even get to fight Scorpion Woman, and yeah, I mean, it was just the special forces that somehow managed to take her down. So yeah, that sort of quotation marks fight, was not really a fight. It was kind of a disappointment, but it did lead to a very funny peak comedy scene in the theaters that had everyone laughing. And speaking about fights, I think something important to talk about is the choreography when it comes to the fights. So far, the choreography was pretty good. I thought it was very well done. And also, when it comes to, speaking about the fights and the choreography, I think it's also important to talk about the CGI, which, you know what? The CGI wasn't that bad. Certain scenes, the CGI was quite good. I wasn't bothered by it. But then certain scenes, the CGI was just terrible. I feel like the main scene that really quickly realized that the CGI was just bad was the confrontation with the Bat Og. I mean, Bat Og as a design, the whole makeup, everything looked amazing, but when it came to like the Bat Og like flying and unfolding its wings, it just looked terrible. Yeah, I just like every time like I saw like the Bat Og just like flapping its wings in air, and I'm like, this looks bad. That CGI looks terrible, but everything else was pretty good. I don't think other certain scenes didn't CGI didn't look that bad. It was just that one scene, that one part of the film with Bat Og that the CGI just looked like unfinished. And when it comes to like all of the other characters, like the main character Hongo Takeshi, like the main writer, and then the secondary protagonist Riko, and all the other characters, they were just fine. I mean, I didn't really feel personally attached to them. Hongo Takeshi throughout the film, yeah, especially throughout the film, like almost majority of the film, Hongo Takeshi is just like depressed and sad, and I mean he is clearly sad and depressed. You can see it from his face. And yeah, I mean, throughout the film he improves and he tries to like move past all of the like trauma and stuff like that, but I mean, I guess I could say is that I would like to shout out the actor who did play Hongo Takeshi, because he did an amazing job trying to convey Takeshi's emotions, and like in the film when Hongo Takeshi did finally break down, the actor did such an amazing job. I was very impressed. But yeah, all of the other characters were just like, whatever. Ichimonji, Kamen Rider number 2, when he shows up, for the little amount of screen time he has, he is a pretty fun character. I like this character. He was quite likable almost instantly. Very fun character. But I could have wished he had such a longer screen time. And the main villain is just whatever. It's just kind of like your whole like typical like generic like big baddie. I want to help humanity by doing this, but in reality it's like doing something bad for humanity. And yeah, the main baddie, Kamen Rider Zero, when he does like finally transform into a rider, his design is very cool. Kamen Rider Zero's design is absolutely amazing. Very stunning. And when it comes to the soundtrack, that was just amazing. Absolutely beautiful. Especially when the soundtrack kicked in during like the fight scenes and like the most epic parts of the fight scenes. It was so well done. It was just beautiful to listen to. I loved the soundtrack. But I feel like one last important thing I wanna talk about, and probably like my biggest complaint of the film, and it's not the CGI, it's not the acting. The acting was good, by the way. I love the acting. And it's not like, oh, I wish the fights were longer. No. My biggest complaint of the film is that in certain scenes during like the fights in the night or during dark environments, it was exactly that. It was just very dark. It was very hard to see certain stuff, and I wish those scenes could have been a little bit more brighter. They just, oh my god. One of the fights in the film that I was very excited to see when I was watching the trailers was the tunnel fight. The fight in the tunnel with Kamen Rider 1 against like this whole like mini army of like Kamen Rider clones. That fight in the trailer looked like it was gonna be so good. It was good in the film, but the problem was it was a little bit too dark. It was just a little bit too dark. Really, during that scene, I feel like you could see mostly like the writer's like glowing eyes throughout majority of that scene, and it was kind of hard to convey what even was going on. You had to really kind of sort of pay more attention during that specific scene. But I hope like the Blu-ray or like DVD or like a digital version of the film like fixes that by making that scene a little bit more brighter. But yeah, that was like my biggest complaint of the film, was that during certain scenes in the dark, it was just exactly that, just too dark, and it could have been brighter. Overall, I quite enjoyed this film. Very entertaining movie to watch. I mean, it did feel a little bit rushed because I felt like they were trying to cover like an entire series in like one whole movie, but I mean, a very enjoying watch, entertaining. I had fun. I could watch it again, but there's still a lot of stuff here and there that I felt like it could have been better, and they could have done some changes when it comes to like the lighting and stuff like that. But overall, I love the movie, and that's all about I have to say about this movie. So either ways, if you have any thoughts or comments about the movie, feel free to leave it down in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next video.